Let's talk about threading your needle and the best way to use your floss. So DMZ floss is the most common embroidery floss that you can find on the market. It's in most craft stores. And each one has a number. And this is the number that's used to identify the color that you're using. They don't have names or anything like that. So when you're looking for a particular thread, look for this. They also do not have dye lots. So there might be some variation between when you purchase the different colors, but most of the time I think they're pretty accurately in sync. So if you look at your skein, if you're looking at it with the number facing you, there's typically the end of the thread coming out from this end. So if you gently pull, you can keep the skein intact from this end. If you there's also an up and end up here. If you did this, it tends to tangle and make a mess. And so this way your skein is intact and it's not tangled. So always pull from the bottom of your skein. And I typically like to pull about an arm's length of floss at a time. So I'll go ahead and cut that. DMC thread comes in 6 strands inside each piece of thread. So you can see the different strands here. So different designs will call for different numbers of strands. And the best way to peel off individual strands, I found, is to pull off one at a time. So I'm going to pull, get one strand here. So I've got the one strand, and I'm just going to pull the strand away from me, holding on to the rest of the other strands in my right hand. So now I've got one individual strand. So I'll keep doing that for however many strands I need. If you need 2 strands, pull 2 individual strands and so forth. Don't pull multiple strands at once, or it will tend to tangle on you. It also helps those strands to lay down a little bit easier together. So here I've got 2 strands. And there I go. Go ahead and thread your needle. So most folks, if you can see your needle really well, the needle head, a little spit almost helps. There we go. The other alternative is also to use a needle threader. So I'm going to pull this out and show you the needle threader. This is my favorite needle threader. It's made by Clover. And how you use it, you take your needle, take your needle threader, and you're going to thread the needle with this metal piece. So it goes through like that. Now you've got a much bigger loop here to see through. So then you take your thread, and insert it into that loop. See? So now it's hanging from, it's inside that loop. And then I'll hold the needle, and then I'll pull the needle threader through, and the thread will come through the needle, side of the needle. And we're good. And I usually use just a couple of inches overhang in your work. When you're beginning, I also recommend just to knot the end of your thread. A simple overhand knot will do. Another option is to take your needle, put it right towards the end where you want your knot to go. Wrap the needle a couple of times. Hold on to those wraps with your thumb finger, and then just pull your needle through those loops. And it leaves a knot. So that's just another way to knot your thread. If you're using an even number of strands in your work, what I really prefer to do is a different option that I'm going to show you right now. Okay, this next method of starting works really well when you're using an even number of strands. So this design I'm going to work on is requiring 2 strands, but I'm only using 1 strand of thread and I looped it. So I've got the ends here and then this is the loop. So I'm going to thread these 2 ends into my needle. Go. For this, you probably want a little bit longer strand than what I've got here, but this is just for demonstration purposes. But you basically work, the design calls for 2 strands. I'm going to be sewing with 2 strands, but it's really technically 1 strand that was just looped, overlapping itself. Now that I've got my thread, I'm ready to make my first stitch. Don't pull all the way out. Just make your first stitch. Down, come back up on the opposite side of your work. And you'll see you've got the loop and you've got your needle. Put the needle through the loop, cinch it up, and you're good to go. There's no knots, and it will hold for you. So you just keep, from this point on, you just go on with your work. It's definitely a nice, neat way to start your thread when you're using even number of strands.